Miscavige. Um, I have decided on an album. It's gonna be BSB. I think you know what that is. It's also easy to unpack too. Um, Backyard crafts, sewing, and books. So, um, I'm not settled with a fact, and it's only because prior to December 19th, 2015, and the start of the campaign, had already visited the World Trade Center Memorial. And, well, let's just say I couldn't leave fast enough. Usually, when something happens out of an attack by evil, there's the pull to keep somebody that is connected. So, being a vampire at the age of Vampire Claudia, which is the tender age of 10, which is correct because in third grade I probably wouldn't have made it. But I'm sure everybody's fucking calendar got adjusted during a time when it was super busy. But I am going to throw this fact out there. With everything that's going on in the loop through December 2015, I really think 9/11 was staged. Because we haven't been able to go back in time to that date versus the date we're currently stuck in. Right? Wouldn't that make sense in all celestial being logic that we would go back to September 11th? Which means that Donald Trump was behind it, and I have a funny feeling that that was also part of the people that watch what happened on TV. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there were thousands of women and men that saw how small Jeb was and how horrible Rick was in bed and all that stuff on TV. And in bed was seriously on these, yeah. I'm really being polite. I'm really being polite. I would like my Backstreet Boy albums to be the only songs that I can listen to. It's not logical to keep going back December 2015, unless that's how many wrongdoings have accumulated up to the value that Donald Trump has claimed to be. And in all fairness, with the amount of money and the actual numbers on paper, it is logic safe to say that Donald Trump is completely broke and full of shit. And given the fact that we found the naked gun, idiot, it's also possible that some of the broadcast media could have been staged as well. And by that, I mean, like, taken down to a state. It's possible. Anything's possible. And that's because I can't get a straight answer from Rick Perry about how IT completely started based on the Prairie Days. You have to explain it starting then and then explain it upwards. You can't tell me, well, based on technology, because if you're going to start saying that, then I get to bring in the extraterrestrial coneheads episode then, meaning that the human race had to enter into another universe where there existed a population called coneheads, which would have been the supreme human logic race to create IT, and then at some point they disappeared one day, which makes no sense. Okay. And given the fact that we have this glorious lawsuit based on Jack Ryan's frickin' novels, which I'm reading and finding out that it is more possible. Possible means that it is fact. That all the mistresses to my ex-husband were reading it, creating this big, humongous red dog bubble. Problem is, I'm Mormon at heart, and I had to go to Scientology because I became a Claudia. There is no name Claudia in the Mormon religion. And in fact, if there is, it's spelled differently than the way a European Claudia would be spelled. Okay. So yes, I'm Mormon at heart because there was something else that led up to that point at school, which was a rape. Okay. And it was a tuition barter rape. It wasn't like, oh, you can always file bankruptcy and we'll overlook it. And it just means that you'll have to go to another school district. We'll give a letter of recommendation. No, it was none of that. Absolutely none of that. And every single one of those teachers were getting knocked up or doing something extra with their paychecks. So even Michigan was in the same fucking rut. It has been, if not worse, comparable to now. So students that are watching any of my videos and know that this is all because of Donald Trump setting up something that he made a mistake about, then that means you read most of the media about him prior to, which he erased, by the way. When you have millions and millions, according to Trump, dollars, you can erase any type of media just like Jeb does with his family. Jeb had completely erased all the FBI and CIA essential documents that would have spared Comey a whole lot of shit. And it's just because one salary paycheck was touching another. This is where the whole Lindsey Graham and Ruth Bader paycheck touching my unemployment fund came in. Okay, because remember, we're still stuck in December 19th, and most of the world hates Lindsey Graham when they see it in their mailbox. It's like the fucking omen of death. Okay. I know this is the hardest thing to believe, but for those of you that keep paying attention to your calendar and paying attention to the media, and you have a routine that is constantly medical proven, like mine, a food allergy, every single day it's pick and choose what you want to eat. Now it's going to be select menu items, and that's it. Going through it, putting money aside. How much more can you scrape off, scrape at the bottom of the peanut butter jar? All that. You are paying attention, correct. We are not going to go any further. We may try to reach 2024. We're not going to hit it. Okay. Y'all need to come clean in the beginning, and we need to see bow outs. Okay. If we see bow outs, then we might have an extra 8 months. Okay. The sad fact is that if we can't, let's follow the logic. If we can't get through a timeline to the H bomb, I'm using that because technically there's no such thing as a nuclear bomb if we're constantly going through December 19, 2015. So maybe that concept was also created by Trump because he was also trying to simulate with the Reagan administration with Death Star. What Trump failed to understand is that it was code. It was code for every single level of government argument he had. Man was a super whippersnapper. There was nothing you can get by with him. So unfortunately, we're going to go through this. I'm going to explain something to you. You're going to see the SOTU. You're going to see the family again, the Trump family. You're going to feel like shit. It's going to sunk you into the day. You want to stay out of it, and you just want to say he's just another piece of shit. Because if Jack Ryan can be any type of author of military documents, that means Trump can create his own administration of lies. Okay, and it's tough because another group of people that are very intelligent as far as supernatural goes, meaning like you're seeing things, meaning not like seeing things, meaning like you're paying attention to the patterns. It's the same sunny day, same mistake, like somebody knocks over a half a can of Pepsi and spill is still there on the floor the next day, which I have a picture of. You're seeing it. Those are what I'm talking about. It's like the scary movie signs. Oh my God, somebody knocked over a Pepsi at the wrong time, those type of things. That means that we're not going through. Okay? That's for the okay. That's what they look at. So I'm telling you, if September 11th was a place of correct facts, I would have been able to revisit it, in all fairness. In all fairness, because I did visit it way before then. So I should be able to visit it now. Can't do it. Okay. Now, mind you, you're going to have all these people do their own scary movie, their own thinking, and then everybody's going to start rendering them as paranoid schizophrenics. That's not paranoid schizophrenics. In fact, I've been proven that I'm not a paranoid schizophrenic. Paranoid schizophrenics can't comprehend lab testing results. Okay? They can't even understand procedure. Do you know that the reason why you fill out tubes after you do the testing, not before? Okay. You fill it out so you don't smear it, because the moment you smear it, you can't actually relabel it again. And it's not considered, quote unquote, a clean specimen. And in the lab, it has to be well marked. Okay? It cannot be smudged because that means it's tampered with. Paranoid schizophrenics can't comprehend any of that. They can't. They'll stick themselves in a room and paint and paint and paint and paint and paint, do more and more and more in art. You ain't seen any of that. You ain't seeing any of that. If anything, you're seeing what I started off with, Scientology. Had to pick a new religion, which was Mormon, because what happens when you stray from the Catholic Church or from the Church of England, you break into your own sect and you figure out what political issues set you off. Most of the time, it's either political affiliations, matrimony not being preserved, it's abuse of authority figures, whatnot, and that's how it disperses. Okay. Here's the problem, though. Why did I bring this up? Because we have a thing called Bill. And Bill, Jeb, Gore, they all were part of that. And unfortunately, during that time, they also had the ability to make world affair connection. I'm going to beat your ass. It was bad enough you fucking tried to hop the fence. Pumpkin barked at you to get in the house. You went and skedaddled. She chased you. You failed to listen. Tried to fucking run again. She barked at you. Then Miriam beat the shit out of you the next morning. Cat, what do we not comprehend here? I'm gonna beat you, Simba. You're gonna get hit by a fucking car. You're gonna get hit by a fucking car. That's why we all fucking beat the shit out of you. Anyways, so with all the CIA, FBI money and knowledge, it was more likely staged. It had to have been, because thousands of people were watching something on TV, and something like that, everybody would have sat down and wrote it in their journals, or played the same lotto numbers they've been doing, or like said, that's the routine I'm going to stick with for the whole freaking lifetime. And that's what happened. Plus, I'm a vampire. I'm supposed to be visiting, good places. And it's not happening. It's not happening at all. Not because of Scientology. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We've lied so much that we can't get past this fucking date. We can't go through the bomb to the point where we can go back in time. And then when we did go back in time, we didn't go to that date. We went to December 19, 2015, which means that all that lying y'all did, it caught up to you. That wouldn't have been the caught up point. And considering I found the Naked Gun idiot, you can't argue with me. You really can't, because I should have been done with that lie. It's the honest to God truth, right? So why were we covering up so much? Could we not pay these people? Do you know how many millions of Americans we hurt by doing that? Sorry. You want to play that game with me, I get to fire it right back at you, because you can't explain to me why we didn't go back to that date, continue all the way up, and then wake up the next day and go back to that date again. It can happen. It's happening with the kids. So you can't say it couldn't happen. It is. You know, moms are having babies, not recognizing that, you know, it's going to go right back to where it was. You know, except for me. I'm stuck. I've been stuck since I was 10 years old. Sorry, everybody. I'm an old Claudia. And the only way I figured out how to grow up was with the correct, keen logic, just like Spock did. You really can't argue with me. You can't. Jeb can try. Jeb can try, but that's why his Houston Astro World Series score, it looks like shit. 0-7, and you're owned by the Bushes. Yeah, can't work out like that. So on that note, Miscavige, definitely want my Backstreet Boys album, 1 through 5, 1 through 5, and that's how it's gonna be for the first entire year. I don't care what you have to do to break down that stubbornness personality trait. It has to be that, because I can't keep going through the stunt. There is no more. I am a dried out rawhide bone skeleton. You can't put it back in. Can't. What I depleted was not what you can take over the counter. What I depleted was the natural source of calcium. And we haven't gone through baby birth stages as an entire nation for an infinite number of times. So it's pretty much not going to come back. It's not. This is locking up pretty bad. And it's getting scarier by the minute when I eat. Because that means that was a meal I haven't had. And I blew out my knee to the point where I bypassed the whole freaking other medical emergency issue. Sorry. I don't know. I mean, I have to keep pushing the limit if you guys want to keep lying to me. The more you lie to me, the more I'm going to push that limit. And now when I take away that stunt, that also too has a backfire, because that used to be the line block you would throw, and you can't use that now. Can't. You can't. So it kind of sucks. And it sucks that I found the Naked Gun idiot too. So just letting you know.